Welcome to the session, everybody. So today we are looking at how to come out of crisis as an entrepreneur and as a professional, the framework or the recommended process or system that you should practice anytime you are in the midst of crisis. And one thing about us human beings, especially people who are ambitious to build thriving careers and to build thriving businesses, there is one thing that we will always encounter, which is crisis. Even in our personal lives, a crisis can come out of nowhere. Crisis can just spring out of nowhere. And many people get to give up on life. Many people get to get lost or go through a lot of difficulties because they do not know how they can come out of crisis. When you see many people, if you talk to many people who feel like giving up on life or who have totally given up at all, you will notice that they actually gave up because of a major crisis, because of a major meltdown, because of something that hits them so hard that they did not know what to do. For example, let us imagine a young man, you have been saving money for years, and you save a couple of millions or hundreds of thousands, and you take that money and you invest in a fake investment scheme, and then you wake up one morning and the money is gone. You just read on the news that the company crashed and the CEO has been arrested and there's no way you can recover your money. That is a crisis. You have just entered a serious financial crisis, right? And so crisis can come up from anywhere, even marital crisis, even crisis at the workplace. So because you can, as long as you live with people and you do work with people and you do business with people, you may be on your end, you may be very efficient, but somebody may be inefficient that you work with that can lead to crisis. So the best antidote as far as crisis is concerned is to know how to handle crisis. I hope you are following me very well. Is to know how to handle crisis. And this is something that you cannot avoid. So if you cannot avoid something, the best way is to learn how to manage that thing. The best way is to learn how to solve that thing when it happens, right? And that is very important for every serious entrepreneur and professional to know. And I have always taught the people in the community that if you are going to succeed in this life, your ability to know how things work and how you can leverage these things or use the right knowledge to live this life, you will become more successful. Anywhere you are struggling, the biggest thing happening is that you have limited knowledge, right? If you see people who always have crises and problems, it means that number one, they don't even know how to live their life in a way that they can anticipate a crisis that may happen and start living their life in a way that they can prevent that crisis from happening. But there are some crises that they are inevitable. The only way is for you to have the mentality and know how to come out of that crisis. And that is why you taking this session is very important, because as an entrepreneur, as a professional, crisis will definitely come your way. Every entrepreneur and professional will go through crisis. It is not crisis that destroys someone. It is the way and the attitude towards the crisis. Oh yeah, really, really, there's no crisis that is so powerful that can destroy a human being. There is none. There is none. Yes, crisis can break you emotionally. Crisis can break you mentally. But despite all of those things, it is the way and the attitude towards the crisis that gets to destroy people. There are some people that they go through crisis and the only thing they need to say is sorry, genuinely say sorry, and maybe amend the relationship, and the crisis can pass away. And because they have this egoistic attitude or this arrogant attitude, they may not say sorry, and the crisis can persist. For some people, they just totally allow the crisis to swallow them. So they have this giving up attitude, this they allow the crisis to beat them and to destroy them, and all they think is to give up. You know, that is still attitude, and that is a way. So crisis on its own cannot destroy a human being. It is how you handle the crisis and your attitude towards the crisis that will destroy you. Even if you are listening to me right now, let's say a crisis come to you right now, God forbid, just a case scenario, and you lose all your money, you lose your house, your landlord packs you and all of that, and you have no way to sleep and no amount of money, no money. Let's assume you're standing on the street right now. That is a crisis. That is a very serious crisis. Now, the way you handle it will determine whether that crisis will destroy you or you will come out of it and still become successful a couple of months or years later. Are you getting me? So having the right way and the right attitude towards crisis is the game changer for every entrepreneur and every professional in this life. You know, I like to use COVID-19 is the last biggest crisis that everybody basically went through, you know, in different across different countries. So some people in their various countries, like in Cameroon and in some part of Nigeria, Mali, Ethiopia, they're going through civil unrest where the government is fighting some armed force, some armed groups and militia and all of that. People are being displaced. That is crisis. Some people are going through health crisis, financial crisis. Some people are going through marital crisis, emotional crisis. So a crisis like COVID-19 has adverse effects on the economy and development of businesses. However, professionals and entrepreneurs who think outside the box can help develop the technologies, the solutions that will have a lasting and positive impact. So in the midst of crisis, other people may be seeing the pain and the adverse effects and just the bad news and all of that. But there are some people, some certain entrepreneurs and professionals who have a way of handling the crisis, which is thinking outside the box with the purpose of developing, contributing, creating. So when there is a crisis, either you allow the adverse effects to control you, or you develop and become better, right? So now let us look at the process to come out of crisis. What is the process that you can go through as a professional, as an entrepreneur, to come out from crisis anytime there's a crisis? And I would like to add that this is the process that personally I use. I use this particular process anytime there's a crisis in career, business, whatever. And of course, as a consultant, as a coach, majority of the things that people bring to me to ask for advice and counseling is crisis, is problems, money crisis, career crisis, business crisis, and some people even bring their marital issues and makes the whole stuff. You see, so but there is a process. So when you know this is a practical process that I would like to encourage you, take some notes if you can, and try to make sure you study it and begin to use it. I have always advised most of us in this community, guesswork does not build an incredible life. When crises come towards you, if you try to solve the crisis from the place of anger, from the place of excitement, from the place of emotions, from the place of guesswork, from the place of what people are saying, you are going to solve it the wrong way, and it will destroy you further. It will destroy you further, right? So, but when you are able to strategically look at the crisis and find a way that you can come out of that crisis, you will come out of the crisis without you losing yourself or without the crisis destroying you. Remember, crisis on its own does not have the power to destroy a human being. Any crisis that can, even if you are listening to me right now, if you are going through crisis right now, only you can give that crisis the power to destroy you, or you can have power over that crisis, come out of it and become successful. That is your responsibility as an entrepreneur and a professional. Step number one, the first thing that you need to always do when there is crisis, when you are experiencing some crisis, is separate yourself from the crisis. Many people are always too attached to the crisis. They are so emotionally attached and all of that. They allow the crisis to swallow them and all of that. And I know this can be difficult, but sometimes try to look at your crisis as a stranger. You step outside, you allow your crisis, you separate yourself from the crisis and try to solve it from an outside perspective. Even though you are inside the stuff, but you try to separate yourself. Do not allow the crisis to keep you away from focusing on the solution. Yes, the purpose of separating yourself from the crisis is for you to redirect your focus, redirect your resources to look for the solution. Don't sit there and be in the midst of the crisis and you're crying and you're complaining and you're shouting and you're crying. You're not sleeping. You are in the midst of the crisis. So the first thing to do, when a crisis happens, I know in the first couple of minutes or even some few days, it can hit you so hard and you can allow yourself, it takes over you. But that's why one of the best you cannot do is learn how to accept what has happened and start solving your way out of it. That's one of the things I do. A crisis happened, I calculate, okay, is this the worst case scenario? Fine. Let me acknowledge it. Let me accept it. This is the loss. Fine. What is the way out of this situation? There's no time to be crying and murmuring. Yes, you may be hurt, you may be feeling bad and all of that, but it has happened. If you cry for 10,000 days, how is that going to change the crisis? No, it doesn't change anything. But when you separate yourself from the crisis and redirect your focus and resources on the solution, you will come out of that crisis. When it keeps you away, it can pressure you to give in and to give up. Yes. When you are in the midst of the crisis can pressure you to give in into the crisis and to give up. Let's assume you have lost some money into a fake investment scheme, and that is your life savings, and you don't have any money in your bank account. Instead of sitting there and crying, oh, my money, oh, the money is gone. Maybe the founder of the fake investment scheme has taken the money, traveled to another country, and he will never come back. The money is gone. He cannot be arrested. There's nothing you can do. Acknowledge the loss. Then step aside. Let the money be there and let you be on this other side. Then start asking yourself, how can you remake the money? The money that you lost, you made the money. So it means you can remake the money. What else can you start doing? You see, you start retailoring your attention, your intelligence, your focus, your resources to start gaining back your life. Because if you spend 3 months and 6 months crying on the crisis, that is you losing 6 months of your life. But if you could step away from the crisis and start looking for the solution, in the next 6 months, you will regain back your life and become even more successful, because that is the experience that you can use to build a better life, right? So step one, separate yourself from the crisis. Do not bury yourself in the crisis. Don't sit in the house and lock yourself in the room and cry day and night and you're not eating and you're not doing stuff. That is arrant nonsense. That thing doesn't solve problems. It only destroy you and take life away from you. And you allow crisis to rule you. Meanwhile, God created you with the mandate to rule over crisis. The Bible says he has put everything under your feet, including crisis. The Bible says there's no condemnation for those who are in Christ. Crisis should not condemn you to a failed life, to give up. Just that many people forget about the power that they have over any situation. So if you are listening to this session right now and you're going through any problem or crisis, start today, separate yourself from it and retailer your focus and your attention to that. Number two, charge up your spirit man. Yes, this is one of my favorite things. Let me tell you, when a crisis hits me, do you know the first thing I do? I pray. I worship God and I pray. Yes. If you they come and tell me any bad news as a crisis, I will just, when I drop the phone like that, I need to charge my spirit man. I need to charge the supernatural man. I need to charge the spirit that has the power over any circumstance. I need to charge my spiritual authority because it also plays a role in me speaking with faith and commanding when the situation that is not right to become right. As a Christian and as a spiritual man, I believe in that and I have seen it work. Right? Yes. So the second thing to do is charge up your spirit man. This is one of your most important resources in the midst of crisis. Charge up your spirit man. You can do this by praying. You can do this by doing declarations. You can do this by doing affirmation. You can just declare, I will come out of this crisis and become successful. I always tell this, but anytime there's a crisis, I will speak to the crisis. You crisis, you will lose and I will win. You crisis, I will be the victor and not the victim. You crisis, I will come out of this the best winner. You charge up your spirit man. You can do this by praying. You can do this by declaring what Christians call prophetic declarations. You can do this by positive affirmations. You can do this by believing in future possibilities. Believe that this crisis is not the end of you. There is a better future ahead of you despite the present crisis. Charge up your spirit man. Charge up your faith. Believe in the impossibilities. Charge up your hope. The poorest man on earth is a man without hope. No matter what you're going through right now, do not use your present circumstance to conclude on your destiny. That is hope. No matter the difficulties, have hope for tomorrow. Believe that there are future possibilities waiting for you. Crisis will that, and this is why many people get to commit suicide and they get into depression because their spirit man is dead, totally gone. There is no way you can see somebody with a high spirit who is depressed and thinking of suicide. There is no way. People that do suicide and get into depression, they don't believe that the next day beautiful things can happen. That's why. They don't have hope for tomorrow. They don't believe that something beautiful can happen tomorrow. But anytime your spirit man is high, that is why, listen to me carefully, avoid praying only when you have problems. Yeah, that's not maturity. You have a perpetual prayerful life so that as long as your spirit man is high, as long as you command spiritual authority and energy and power, sometimes when crises are coming, just because of your spiritual sensitivity and authority, you can wave the crisis away, right? Yeah, sometimes you just say, so this thing would have happened to me. But you don't know that it's because of your spiritual consciousness and your closeness to God and the love of God and the mercies of God that God waved away the crisis. Sometimes if God opened your eyes and you see the battles that you have won without you fighting, you'll be amazed. Okay, so one of the secrets in the journey of success is having a consistent high spirit and mindset. You always have this high spirit and this positive mindset. You have this faith that tomorrow will be fine. You have this hope that there are future possibilities, that beautiful things will still happen to you despite the pain that you are going through. So the second thing that you need to do when you're in the midst of crisis is charge up your spirit man. When your spirit man is charged up, you will see possibilities in the midst of chaos. When your spirit man is charged up, you will see hope in the midst of despair. When your spirit man is charged up, you will have faith in the midst of impossibilities. But when your spirit man is dead, you only see failure, you only see impossibilities, you only see despair, you only see persecution, you only see darkness, you only see chaos. You don't see anything good at all in your life because you are only seeing things with your korokoro eyes. Yes, you're only seeing things with your physical eyes. And if you see things only with your physical eyes, what happens? You see things on your physical eyes, you always be very limited in what you are seeing. Okay, step 2. Then step 3, do proper soul analysis and break out from any weakness. Yes, do proper soul analysis. Your soul is made up of your mind, your emotions, and your strong will. So you need to analyze what is the state of your mind, what is the state of your emotions, and what is the state of your will. Yes, that these 3 elements make up your soul. So you need to ask yourself, in the midst of this challenge, what is the state of my mindset? Am I thinking, sometimes you can forget and allow your mind to control you. It happens to me sometimes. That's why I like to do my mind analysis. Hey, Joybert, are you positive or negative at the moment? Just that simple question makes you to realize yourself. So the 3rd step, when you're in the midst of crisis, try to analyze your soul. Understand the state of your mind, the state of your emotions, and the state of your will. So what do you need to do here? Number 1, break out from negative thinking. There is no way you can come out from crisis when your thinking pattern is so negative, like massively negative. There is no way you can come out from that crisis like that. Okay, so analyze your thinking pattern. Okay, because sometimes you can be in the midst of crisis and the only thing you're seeing is bad news. The only thing your mind is seeing is bad news, is negativity. There is no way you can. That's why people get into depression, because their mind is only seeing bad things, bad things, which is not good. So you need to do the analysis and break out from negative thinking into possibility thinking, into solution-oriented thinking. The next thing, break out from the wrong emotions. Check your emotions. Do you have the wrong emotions full of anger? Are you so, do you feel that your emotions they're so wrong and they're so painful? You need to start working on your emotions and start alternating to better emotions. Then break out from the will to give up. Start checking yourself. Hey, am I having this feeling of giving up? Am I thinking of giving up totally on this job, on this career, on this business, on this marriage? Check. Because your will can take you to where you don't want to go. So when you understand the state of your will, you take the drive, you take the steering wheel. You don't allow your will to be on autopilot. No, you need to be intentional about the kind of will that you have. Move yourself from the will to give up to the will of possibilities, to the will of making it out of this life with good results. Okay, this point 3 is very critical. If many people can understand this particular point 3, I would say life can be so sweet despite challenges and difficulties. That's why you see some people that they always feel that they're always very happy, they don't have problems. No, it's just that they are bigger than problems. I always say something funny. I am still to see a problem on earth that can make me to be too sad and feel like giving up life. There is none. I am still to see it. Because when you know how to do certain things, you live above problems. They come, but you live above the problems, right? So never forget to do your proper soul analysis. This is very important. And the purpose of doing this is for you to break out from the wrong things. Break out from negative thinking to possibility, solution-oriented thinking. Break out from the wrong emotions to the right growing emotions. Break out from the will to give up to the will to keep on going, to the will of resilience and consistency. Okay. Number 4, act forward. Yes. There is no way you can ever come out of crisis without acting forward. There is no way you can ever come out of crisis without acting forward. If you remain in the crisis, you're only talking about the crisis, you're only complaining about it, but you're not taking steps to move forward to better your life, that crisis will eat you for breakfast, eat you for lunch, and eat you for dinner. And if you're not careful, it will eat you on Christmas Day, right? Imagine a whole human being like you and you allow crisis to be eating you every day. Can you imagine? You are better than that, right? Good. So you need to act forward. What I like to call faithful actions and not react to the circumstance. Take faithful actions. Actions in faith. People are looking at you like, wait, will this man do anything? You keep on, we are moving forward. Yes, it has happened. You are hurt. You are sad. But by all means, the way forward is forward. I would like to say that. The way forward is forward. The way forward is forward. Faithful actions. You are looking ahead. You are faithful actions. We are going forward. This problem will not hold me back. This crisis cannot control me. I will not lock myself in the house because of this crisis. I will not allow my happiness to go away because of this crisis. The way forward is forward. My career is moving forward. My business is going to operate. My finances are going to come back to life. Everything is forward. Be intentional to move forward. Be intentional not to focus on distractions. Be intentional not to let your default mind to lead you. The default mind is a negative mindset. So be intentional to develop possibility, solution, forward-looking, goal-setting mindset. Forward, 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 forward. What if you are going forward? You are not locking yourself up in the house. You are not crying day and night. You are not sitting in the dark. You are not complaining and murmuring. You are not looking for who to blame. Forward, you are taking responsibility. You are taking action forward. You are becoming resourceful. You are studying. You are doing what you can do to the best of your ability to take your life forward. When you do this, there is no crisis on earth that can ever bury you. Show me somebody that Christ is buried. I will show you somebody who did not take faithful actions to move their life forward. I want somebody to type, I am moving my life forward. Type, I am moving my life forward. I've been blessed. I've been challenged by this session. Then type, I am moving my life forward. I am moving my life forward. Let's go, people. Let's go. Let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go. Good. Yes. Forward, forward, forward. Good. So that is the fourth thing that you should do. Number 5, ask for help. Yes, ask for help, my people. Asking for help is not a sign of weakness. Asking for help is a sign of maturity. People that genuinely ask for help are mature people. You are so matured in this life and you know that there are certain things you cannot do on your own. Ask for help from family members. Ask for help from friends that you can trust. Ask for help from your spouse, your husband, your wife, and all of that. Even your girlfriend, your boyfriend, if you're in a good relationship, ask for help from colleagues, from neighbors. Whoever can help you, ask for help. You cannot be in the midst of crisis and you're proud at the same time. You cannot be in the midst of crisis and you're full of ego at the same time. Shut the hell up, remove your pride, be humble enough and ask for help. Are you getting me? Ask for help. Ask for help. And that's why building relevant relationship is important. That's why you, when you are doing fine, help people, because someday you may need them and they will help you. The best investment is not money in your bank account. The best investment is not the land that you have bought. You can be stranded somewhere and there's no time to sell the land and there's even nobody to sell the land. What will you do? The land cannot leave where it is to come and help you. It's only a human being that can help you quickly, faster than a land. So learn. That's why I always say that the fastest way to get help is for you to be valuable. The fastest way to get help is for you to be full of integrity and to be honest and to have the right character. People like that always have help when they ask for it. And don't misuse people. Don't take advantage of people. There are some people that they misuse the opportunity of some relationships. They ask for, they beg, they're always begging every month. They're begging, they're always begging. So when they really need help now, people start ignoring them. That this one is a nuisance. You are always begging. You are always begging. So it also means take responsibility, but know when your strength is out. Know when you can no longer move forward. And you can run to somebody and somebody can step in to be there for you. Okay? There are some crises that I want to tell you categorically clear. You can never come out of certain crises on your own. You need somebody to stretch their hand and pull you out of that valley. You need somebody. You need somebody. It could be your spouse. That's why having a good marriage, getting married right to the right person is very important. If you're single, don't be in a haste. Don't just get married because you're looking for who to be having sex with. Right? Marriage is bigger than that. Don't just get married because you saw one fine girl with fine face and fine buttocks. Or you saw one gentleman with chest and big arms and he's handsome. Handsomeness does not solve problems. So, you hear me? Yes. Handsomeness does not solve problems. It takes more than that. Be careful who you marry, because that can make your life or destroy your life. Friends. What kind of a friend are you? Are you a good friend to your friends? And are you friends with the right people? Do they have principles and values? Can they be there for you when you need help? Even your family. Are you helpful in the family? Can they step in for you? It's very important. There are some people that have blood relationship, but there's no family. They're struggling, they are on their own. Nobody in the family is willing to help because you are never there for other people in the family. You see? So it's a two-way thing. There are some people that they can be in the midst of crisis and they're crying for help and nobody is there to help because they were never there for other people. You must not be there because you have a lot of money. Just you showing concern, calling somebody, sending a text. But of course, there are some crises that you have to, you may have to go through some discomfort to give somebody money. Yes. There are some crises that you're going to just say, Ashia, God will help you, I'll pray for you. That's nonsense. There are some crises you have to remove money, go the extra mile for a friend, for a family member. Prayers will not help. Your money is part of the prayer points. So that on the, imagine that on the crisis that you need the money, imagine you have lost all your money. Prayer will not help you. Prayer can comfort you, but you need friends to come. Imagine you've lost all your money, all your investments, all your business, and 5 friends come around and contribute 1 million and give you to start your life. You come out of crisis like a big boy. There are some people that are in the midst of crisis now. Nobody can step up for them. Because when somebody was in crisis, you are saying, I'll pray for you. You reap what you sow. It's a principle. It's a universal principle that exists. What you plant is what you will reap. Simple as that. All right. So before expecting for help, also be somebody who is helpful. Okay. Take this very serious. It's a very good investment. And I'm not saying that you should help people because of what you will get back. No, you can help people in different places and God bless you with different source. Personally, it happened to me many times. I've helped strangers, people I don't know, sometimes pay transport, do stuff for strangers. We don't even get numbers. But I've seen God sustain me, protected me, step in for me in miraculous way in different places that I did not expect. I've seen strangers step in to help me that I did not expect. Because what you plant is what you will reap. Be as kind, be as helpful, be as caring as much as you can. to your family, to your friends, to your colleagues, and all of that. And I want to emphasize this. If you are married, please have a good marriage. Your spouse is the first helper that you will get. And a good marriage, both spouses can always help each other back on their feet, because a good marriage is strategic, is well planned, is well structured. They take care of each other, they work together. So even before they need external help, in the midst of it all, between the spouses, they can always sort certain things out without even seeking external help. But that needs to be worked upon. That's why personally for me, I always encourage, have a family vision, have a family plan. Sit and just talk about your finances. Sit and have a clear conversation about certain things in your family. Don't just build your family out of guesswork and all of that. Because when crisis will come, you need to have something in play. I always like to, when I'm talking to family people, I try to always talk about the Joseph crisis method. When Pharaoh had a dream that there will be plenty and scarcity. Yes, the scarcity came, the famine came, that was crisis. But what's the good news? They were prepared for the crisis, so they did not feel the crisis. Did the famine come? Yes, it come, as far as the Bible states it. But they saved food to eat for the next 7 years, and others were coming to borrow from them and to buy from them. So if a family is structured and they are together and they plan together, they pray together, they're strategic, they work together, they can always plan and have structures in place that can sustain the family in the midst of crisis, in the midst of challenges, in the midst of difficulties. Okay, but in the midst of crisis, know when to ask for help. So there are some people that are stuck in crisis because they are too proud. Swallow your pride and ask for help. See me, if I'm stranded and I know that I am gone and I cannot do it, I will ask for help. I always tell my friends, I hardly ask for help, but let me tell you, I always tell them point blank, say, guys, look, if I need help, I will ask for it without any shame, without thinking twice. It doesn't reduce anything for me. All is that you have helped me and I'm back on my feet. Some people just allow pride. Like I always like to use the example that I've had many kids say this statement. Like I always hear one young lady saying that her father is always waiting that she should be asking for things. Why not ask? Their job to, as long as you are dependent, ask for it. Like somebody like me, if you don't ask something for me, you don't need it. I have siblings. I always tell them, if you need something from me, ask. Don't expect me to sit and imagine that you need something. If you don't ask, I'm not giving you. So it means you don't need it. As simple as that. Don't allow pride to swallow you and all of that. You know, first of all, you don't know the things that people are also dealing in their own lives. So you think that people are going to forget about their problems and focus on your problems? What kind of arrogance and entitlement is that? People also have their own problems. People have their own problems. So learn to ask for help genuinely. Okay. Number 6, intentionally spot and respond to new opportunities. Intentionally spot and respond to new opportunities. Yes, do not waste the crisis. Crisis can lead to disruption and change in habits. Always ask yourself, yes, this crisis hurt me, but what are the opportunities in the midst of this crisis? What is the new opportunity? How can I become better in the midst of this crisis? Okay, so I always say, do not waste crisis. Learn from the crisis. Pick an opportunity from the crisis. Thank you so much, everybody. And I hope that this session challenged you and made you a better person. And you have learned how you can come out of crisis as a professional and an entrepreneur. Cheers.